Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain Free You. Today, a word about positive thinking. So I'll get to it in a minute. Take a couple of nice breaths, enjoy some fresh air. It's cloudy, but not raining. Breathe in the peace. Exhale the noise and the chaos in your life. Breathe in the bravery. And exhale the fear. Breathe in the clarity. And exhale the doubt and uncertainty. So, a word about this thing called positive thinking. There have been self-help books written about this for decades, probably 100 years. And so positive thinking certainly sounds like a good idea, right? But I think it can be overdone, right? Because there might be a certain subset of the self-help community, of the recover from this mind-body pain or illness community, that's all about positive thinking. And I've even heard of some that say nothing but, thoughts of elation, only positive thinking. And the key is, if it's not authentic, it's kind of superficial. I think accurate knowledge, accurate feeling our emotions, we can make a choice. We can make a decision to focus on gratitude instead of misery. Yes, that is a good thing to do, I believe, because we tend to manifest, there's a self-help word for you, the things we focus on the most. We tend to believe the things we focus on the most. But if you think you're going to think only positive thoughts and life is going to turn out rosy, well, ignoring the fact that you still have significant mental health, physical health issues, and you're walking around all day long going, my life is wonderful, it's not going to feel authentic, and as a result, it's not going to feel sustainable, and you're going to burn out from that overly positive approach to life. So what do we do with this? I mean, positive thinking, yes, there's a lot to be said for that. But if you're having a shitty day and somebody's like, oh, come on, think positive, don't you want to just slug them, right? So thinking positive, in my opinion, is kind of where you end up, not necessarily how you get there. I don't know, does that make sense? Gratitude matters. Positive thinking is nice. But if you're feeling sad, angry, ashamed, guilty, whatever it may be, rejecting that and just saying, I got to think positive because that's what some program told me to do, doesn't help. Honor the emotions. Feel them so that they can pass and release, right? I think allowing ourselves to be human with the good and the bad is really where the magic is. Because at that point, we're not putting on a false face. We're not, putting on the character for the rest of the world. And this doesn't mean that you always wear your emotions on your sleeve and you're always the person who's bringing everybody else down because you're always complaining. That's not a particularly useful or helpful thing to do either for yourself or your relationships. When I say feel your emotions, that's an inside job. Give yourself the opportunity, the permission to experience being a human being. Feel whatever the heck you're feeling. Good, bad, or ugly. And once you've felt them, and they've kind of released and those emotions have dissipated, then we do have a choice. We do have an opportunity to decide, where am I going to focus my attention? Am I going to focus my attention on everything that's wrong with me, which is ruminating on the stories behind why we're feeling so emotionally sapped and tapped out? Or are we going to choose, and it is a choice, to focus our attention on the possibilities, the opportunities, the good things in life, the green flowers that are starting to sprout behind me, behind my neighbor's home, the birds that were chirping yesterday in yesterday's video? They were gorgeous. Yes, we can choose to focus on the good things in life, but that doesn't mean you do it artificially 100% of the time, because that's denying the human experience, and that's trying to force ourselves into being something that we're not, or force ourselves into recovery by denying the negative and just forcing the positive. And I don't think there is the ability to stay in a state of elation or happiness all the time. You know? I don't think that is natural or part of the human experience. Just experience what you're experiencing, and when you have a choice, and when you've allowed yourself to feel some of the down, the negatives, choose to lean towards the positives. And, you know, the glass is half full or it's half empty. One of them is going to lead you towards a more fulfilled life, a little more joyful, a little more pleasant. You know, it's not just being a pleasant person to be around with others, but are you a pleasant person to be around with yourself? You know? Allow the ups and downs, the good, the bad, the ugly. Positive thinking does have its place. Sometimes a focus on gratitude and the good stuff can sometimes help pull you out of the dumps, you know? But don't convince yourself that you have to think positively all the time, or that that's the solution. You know, I don't talk about positive thinking much at all. What I do talk about is, you know, accurate knowledge about this TMS, mind, body, perceived danger, pain world. And I really think that all these symptoms that we're dealing with, these illnesses, these symptoms, these sensitivities to chemicals, to foods, to even electromagnetic sensitivities, and certainly all the pains, are based on us perceiving danger way too much. And the key word is perceived danger. Right? The brain can learn that something's dangerous with one or two instances or exposures and a bad reaction, and before you know it, everything ramps up. The nervous system, the brain, the vigilance, and now we're on hyper alert, looking out for danger everywhere. Our job is to recognize that that's what's going on. Perceived danger has amped up the system, and as simple as it may sound, convincing ourselves of safety, that we're actually okay and that nothing horrible is happening, despite how it feels, convincing ourselves that we're actually okay and we're safe, is the way to take the symptom or the system from being completely amped up to weighed down. So it's funny how I always take a typical topic like positive thinking. It turns into a lesson about mind, body, TMS, perceived danger. I guess it's just where my brain naturally goes in trying to, you know, make sense of it all. So it's not about positive thinking to get better. It's about accurate thinking, what's really going on. And then once we understand what's going on, that perceived danger seems to be driving all of it. Another word for that is fear. So if you spend a lot of time in fear and you wonder why you're not getting better, you know, there's a clue there. So the goal is, if you notice yourself in fear a lot, use the accurate knowledge to dial down the fear, and focus on how many different ways can I convince myself I'm safe. There's a bunch of them, dozens of them. And it's not just the words you say. It's the actions you take. The smile on your face. Getting out in nature. Listening to positive music. Listening to a comedian. Laughing a little bit. Connecting with others. There's dozens of them. So, it's not about positive thinking. It's about living life as a normal human being, cutting yourself some slack, not being so critical and judgmental of yourself. Positive thinking has its place, but in my opinion, if you're doing it artificially and you're rejecting this humanity that we all share, this experience of, going around the positive thinker, I don't know how helpful that is, because we're actually denying the human experience. So, love you guys and gals. I appreciate the support. Yesterday I was feeling a little bit down. Still a little bit there, but resetting things as far as the foods I put in my body. So I appreciate all the love and support. I love you too. So we'll talk to you guys and gals tomorrow. It's not about positive thinking. It's about being human, and that's okay. Talk to you tomorrow. Love you.